I spent today shoveling snow. I'm ready to go to bed. Okie dokie. Bungie senior narrative designer defends Sweet Baby Incorporated, tells gamers you need to grow up. Senior narrative designer for Bungie chose to defend Sweet Baby Incorporated, and even parroted comments made by the company's CEO telling gamers they need to grow up. People mocked me. They mocked me. They called me a madman, that this was Gamergate too. Who's laughing now? Ex-user Thickest Yosh, whose profile claims he's senior narrative designer for Bungie, wrote, "If you're mad about DEI ruining games, you need to grow up." He continued, "You need to stop wasting so much time on grifters who are only there to manipulate you and milk your anger for engagement." Oh, cupcake. Or like pot, meat, cuddle. You need to talk to people who aren't like you a bit more. Oh my god, the sheer and utter irony. It's ready to collapse on itself into a singularity of retardation. You need to stop falling for this, he concluded. Biggest Josh, the commentary echoes what Sweet Baby Incorporated CEO Kim Bidlair had to say back in 2019 about straight white male gamers. She compared them to picky babies. I covered this before. Rehashing stuff we covered before, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so the new part was that yet another person is crawling out of the woodwork to circle the wagons and fight on the honor of milady. So this here kind of pissed me off, as it should have pissed off anyone. Sweet Baby Incorporated employee Chris Kindred dumps on Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama, who died at the beginning of this month, immediately after announcement of his death. Sweet Baby Incorporated employee Chris Kindred decided to dump on Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama immediately following the announcement of his death at 10 p.m. ET on March 7th. The official Dragon Ball account on X announced Toriyama had passed away at the age of 68. The message stated, "We are deeply saddened to inform you that manga creator Akira Toriyama has passed away on March 1st due to acute subdural hematoma. He was the age of 68. It's a deep regret. He still had several works in the middle of creation with great enthusiasm. While he would have had many more things to achieve, it continued." The message went on, however, he left many manga titles of work art in this world thanks to the support of so many people around the world. He hasn't been able to continue his creative activities for over 45 years. We hope that Akira Toriyama's unique world of creation continues to be loved by everyone for a long time to come. We inform you of the sad news with gratefulness for your kindness during his lifetime, it added. Then it informed fans funeral services were held with his family and very few relatives. Following his wishes for tranquility, we respectfully inform you that we would not accept flowers, condolences, gifts, visiting, offerings, and others. Also, we ask you refrain from conducting interviews with his family. The message concluded, for future plans for commemorating the gathering is not decided. We will let you know when it's confirmed. We deeply thank you for your understanding and support, as always. I only went over this in its entirety because I haven't actually covered the passing of Akira Toriyama yet. R.I.P. Dragon Ball God. Let's see, but let's get to the meat of this. Less than 2 hours following the announcement of Toriyama's death, Kendra took the X to write, "Toriyama gave us the best and worst black characters in anime in the same series. It took range to do that. Fuck off. Mr. Popo is based." Numerous individuals took Kendrick to task for the post. George Alex G Prime. For those who don't know, this is G Prime. I like his comics. Seeing Sweet Baby employee Chris Kindred has their account suspended, fucking racist talking smack about Toriyama Sensei. Master Lord X wrote, "Is this is intriguing? Black characters in DBZ acted like any other character in the series, even if this is a jab, Mr. Popo. Miss Popo is the best. Fuck off. The character was a Jin, not a black man. Screw up pissing on dead man's legacy. Screw you, Kiss Kindred. Hope you go bankrupt. Oh, just give it time." Duke Sidney posted, "So Chris Kindred gets suspended for attempting to start a harassment campaign, comes back and immediately makes a death of Akira Toriyama, but race within 24 hours of being announced. Pure fucking evil, pure fucking evil. I agree. Yet I don't care if SBI ain't as controlling as the writer's room, if this is how their employees act, and there are other cases, if this is the kind of person the game journalists, quote unquote, want to protect, this is your average employee, SBI needs to crash and fucking burn. I agree. Yep. Sweet Baby Incorporated is the gift that keeps on giving right now. Because, Sweet Baby Incorporated CEO Kim Blair launches a new cancel campaign, uses game developer journalist Brian Francis to get Sweet Baby Incorporated detected shut down. Journalist Brian Francis, who writes for a game developer, attempted to use the outlet's influence to get Valve, the owner of Steam, to shut down Sweet Baby Incorporated detect creator list as the behest of Sweet Baby Incorporated CEO Kim Blair. Sweet Baby Incorporated Detected is a Steam curated list that compiles a track of all games that consultant firm Sweet Baby Inc. has worked on and is available to purchase on Steam. The list currently boasts over 258,000 followers. It also has 16 games on the list and it has them marked as not recommended. And it goes over the list. We covered the list and the boycott of that. And much like Kiwi Farms right now, the boycott's not really doing much. So they're kind of crying to all their butt buddies in the biz, as it were, to like, we need to cancel this guy. It's like little babies there. And we've covered lists. And the ongoing trying to cancel the Steam list so far has proven unsuccessful. And I have a very distinct feeling that our Lord and Savior Gaben is probably putting his finger on the scale on this one here, because I've seen him get pissy over certain things when it involves Steam, and it wouldn't surprise me he's actually paying attention to this stuff. And he's just like, that their account stays up no matter what. I'm calling it right now. Blah, 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 blah. More review of the previous stuff we already covered. Blah, 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 blah. So, I don't know. Like, they've already went crying to Kotaku. Now they've went crying to this other. It pains me to even say, like, game journalist thing. It's just like, they're gonna go to all their little cabal and try to turn the screws on this here, and it's just, man, the Streisand effect is in full swing, and I fucking love it. Let's see. Associate narrative designer working on Marvel's Black Panther admits being racist while accusing gamers of racism and saying you can't be racist to white people. My God, we cover this every other day, I swear to God. Danny Lalondes, an associate narrative designer at Cliffhanger Games. Probably should make a curated list for these guys too. Who is working on Marvel's Black Panther, accused gamers of being racist and claim you cannot be racist to white people. In the midst of the Sweet Baby Incorporated employees attempting to cancel Brazilian gamer Gabritas Rambo and his Steam curator list, and the ensuing defense of said actions by outlets such as PC Gamer and Kotaku, Alonders asserted on March 5th on X, gamers have been really racist lately. Bitch, we always racist. Lately. And I'm trying to ignore it, but it's hard not to. Just creating problems in your head. Don't understand the outrage over video games, especially games that you have no interest to play. I wonder why we have no interest to play them. Maybe it's because of chuckle fucks like you. Little Pipkin. They need a new game plan. Yeah, good luck with that. Teaching a communist new tricks? Even. Let's see. In our series post on March 7th, Londes wrote, I just stopped taking out. Must get into my inner ebonics. I just stopped taking y'all seriously when y'all started running around saying white people can't experience racism because I did not suffer through 2020 for y'all to act like you weren't an ally to BLM 4 years later. Wasn't that tired ass screenshot about the Google definition of racism? I just don't care anymore. Lounders concluded. Otherwise, TLDR, no one cares. Landers would later admit to being a racist in response to Rileyman 1080, who wrote, haha, so being appropriately called racist is tiresome, huh? You could try not being racist. Landers responded, yeah, racist. So what? Now, Landers later stated, if you believe you cannot be racist towards white, that makes you racist. My brain's too tired to deal with this bullshit. Landers wrote, if you think you can be racist to white people, you literally are. Okay, reflex is kicking in early today. Ugh. The stupid aggravates the GERD. Oh, that's what they say me. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Just her waffling, saying, I'm not a racist, you're a racist. Cracker. Nice nose ring, cunt. No one cares about Black Panther. So, yeah. Oh, God. Via Glad on YouTube. Fuck. Okay. Before I jump in this article, I have to point out the picture here taken, rainbow flag flying together with Canadian flag in London, Ontario, Canada. I wonder if I could just zoom in. Enhance. They didn't fucking iron. They didn't fucking iron the pride flag before hanging it. This tickles me too much. They didn't iron the fucking pride flag. Oh God. I am petty. Canadian bill would remove religious exemption from hate speech laws, critic warn. For those who don't know, Canada doesn't have any free speech laws. We have hate speech laws. And for anyone with two brain cells to rub together, hate speech laws and free speech are mutually exclusive. You can have one, but you cannot have both. Let's see. Lawmakers of Canada are considering legislation which, if passed, would criminalize the act of quoting scripture in defense of biblical marriage, sexuality, and other Christian views. Proposals. Yeah, good luck. Yeah, good luck trying to get this shit to fly in Quebec. I'd like to see you try. The proposed Bill C-367, currently under review in the House of Commons, will repeal religious exemption in the Section 319 of the Canadian Criminal Code, which critics say it could open up Christians and other religious groups to hate speech charges over any comments criticism of the LGBT movement. I shall continue to rag on the gays, trannies, and everything else in between until my cold death. Going over the bill. Oh, I make the joke of it flying in Quebec, but it looks like it was introduced by Black Quebecois leader Yves Francois Blanchet in November. Huh. Interesting. Interesting play, Colton. Let's see how it plays out. Yeah, it looks like they're just poo-pooing on religion. Same old business. So, if I'm being completely honest, I can see this. I can see this passing because everything else seems to be passing right now. So, Canada died a long time ago. Let's just be honest. Okay, now to my favorite usual Zero Hedge branch of news. Bukele. I really wish I would. I don't listen to the news or watch the news anymore, so anytime like a new name or something silly comes along, it's like I don't know how to pronounce it, and I really don't want to make the effort. Detransitions gender theory from El Salvador public schools. Malay calls it political tool. Last week, El Salvador President Nayib Bukele told a packed audience at the CPAC that gender theory is a blight on society. Agreed. And he said he believes that it's important that the curriculum doesn't include gender ideology and all these other things, adding parents should be informed and have a say in what their children are going to learn. I agree. Following his comments, El Salvador's Ministry of Education announced that it will stop teaching gender theory to children. The plague of free thought is spreading wild throughout Central and South America. Truly dark times, truly. Confirmed we have removed all traces of gender ideology from public schools. Minister of Education Jose Mauricio Pineda told El País Bukele, 42, won his re-election bid with 84% of vote. God damn, that's a big ass percent. While his Nouveau Ideas party is now a primary political force in the country, they have widespread support of the Salvadorian population, which is in alignment on issues such as gender theory and sex education. According to Pineda, every use of trace of gender ideology has been removed from public schools. Very good. Salvadorian feminists are, of course, screeching over the decision. They can go fuck themselves. Oh, God. Okay. I gotta prepare myself. This one's actually pretty funny. Bukele is a messianic figure, a patriarchal leader, a paternalistic president who watches over us and who seems to think he's anointed by God. Look at that beard. That's anointed by God, Mike. Good sir. Where was I? Said human rights activist Celia Minderano, in a statement to El País, he is a highly conservative man with a very clear tendency to manipulate religion in favor of the message that women have to be kept at home. He's not wrong. Meanwhile, in Argentina, President Javier Milei is on a similar mission to undo years of feminist policies, demoting the Minister of Women, Gender, and Diversity, I can't believe that's still a fucking thing, to the level of undersecretary, and announcing the government will prohibit so-called inclusive language and anything related to gender perspective in the administration. God bless you, ANCAP son of a bitch. Get a haircut. Going over other things that have been cut. Thing with DEI is... So, I just like the closing line. In short, Latin America has led the charge in rejecting the woke revolution. You can only piss off the hardcore conservative Catholic Latins so far. Is that Pipkin sending a message? The reason why I'm showing a notification? Oh no. Someone went live. That's why. Understand you. COVID-19 lockdowns had high health economic costs, a Swedish study. Imposing restrictive lockdown measures during the COVID-19 pandemic led to a higher excess mortality in such nations while also damaging their economies, according to a recent Swedish study. For those who don't know, as cucked as Sweden is, Sweden actually kind of went, you know what, as far as the lockdowns go, YOLO. And they didn't really do much of anything. And they were a good frame of reference and case study for the insanity that was the entirety of the pandemic. And of course, all these studies are slowly rolling out, and this is just one of them. Published in the Economic Affairs Journal on February 11th, the study, which looked at the health and economic effects of COVID-19 lockdowns in Sweden, found that less restrictive COVID-19 policies led to a lower excess mortality compared to many European nations that imposed stronger lockdown rules. Sweden also suffered a lower negative impact on gross domestic product growth during the pandemic period. Many policymakers made two key mistakes, research concluded. First, they introduced lockdowns that were too stringent and had negligible positive health effects, despite the evidence available at the time. Read lies. Pointing towards limited benefits of such broad measures. Okay, no, they're actually going for the real studies and not the ones that were force fed to us. Okay, gotcha. Let's see. Second, they responded to the downturn in the economy activity with fiscal monetary policies that were excessively expansionary. For those who don't know, the majority of the inflation the world has ever seen transpired between 2020 and 2024. Going over how Sweden did better in its peer countries, doing better than others, economics and health wise, yada yada yada. Going over the numbers, yada yada yada. And of course, in hindsight, now we've seen all the lockdown harms beyond the actual gene therapy implementation. That's its own thing. But the lockdowns having, the social aspect on, like kids not learning as much as they should. And of course, the economy and then all that jazz. But, we covered that to death. But it's nice to see more and more data comes through the pipeline that, you know, in hindsight says, hey, motherfucker, we were right. Get fucked. Okay, back to China. Ex-Google engineer arrested, charged with stealing AI trade secrets for China. Because China can't innovate, they can only steal. Former Google software engineer had been indicted on charges of stealing artificial intelligence-related trade secrets while working for Chinese competitors seeking to gain an edge in the AI race. In a way, ding. Fucking ding dong. A Chinese national who goes by Leon was charged by a federal grand jury in San Francisco with 4 counts of trade secret theft, each punishable by 10 years in prison. He was arrested on March 6th morning in California's New York City, where he lives. The 38-year-old allegedly stole over 500 files containing confidential information between May 2022 and May 2023. Including detailed information about hardware infrastructure and software platforms allowing Google supercomputing data centers to train large AI models through machine learning, according to the indictment. Within weeks after Mr. Ding began theft activity, the indictment said early stage Chinese company with a focus on AI offered to make him its chief technology officer. That's how it works. That's always how it works. The position came with a monetary salary. A monthly salary, okay. A monthly salary of around $14,800 with an annual bonus and company stock. Late October, Mr. Ding traveled to China and stayed there until the following March, participating in the investor meetings to raise capital for the firm, Beijing Rongshou Lianxi Technology. I didn't take Chinese in university. What the fuck are you talking about? Fool. In May 2023, he founded a startup in Shanghai. We have experience with Google's 10,000 car computer computational power platform. We just need to replicate and upgrade it. Emphasis on the replicate. And then further develop a computational power platform suited to China's national conditions. He stated in a document promoting his company on the China-based social platform WeChat. Blah 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 blah. And then he was got. And of course, I periodically cover these here because the last one was, I think, a couple of like Navy seamen got caught selling military secrets to China, and then of course this industrial espionage happens all the time. And like not long before that, there I covered the biolab in Canada that was compromised by a Chinese couple, and this shit happens all the time, and it's not going to stop until we kick all the fucking chinks out. I swear to God. I'm sure all of our resident Southeast Asians would be very thankful to get rid of the chinks, especially in Canada, because those cocksuckers are raising up property prices and by buying up everything, those fucking cunts. Let's see. Missiles for Ukraine. Ah, yes. Okay, for those who don't know, I like watching Habitual Line Crosser and his green screen series of the talking countries and the talking weapon platforms. It is very fun and entertaining, but this one's a little weird. Missiles for Ukraine, bizarre German war propaganda on kids' channel features talking weapons. Currently, there's a fierce debate raging in Germany about whether the country should supply long-range Taurus, the bull, missiles to Ukraine with the National Children's Channel, Kika, now waiting to debate with a clip to slammed by critics. So, and that there's kind of I don't know what habitual line crosser magic he does, but he makes it look better. Kika, which is run by the public media giant ARD and ZDF, both funded by German taxpayers, ran a segment entitled No Tars for Ukraine, featured on children's news program Logo. The segment chides Chancellor Olaf Scholz for not sending Taurus missiles to Ukraine while using crude language in the 54-second clip. I'm not going to watch it because it's fucking cringe, and plus it's in German. No one cares about German. And when seen in Taurus missile speaking, saying, "We need to give Olaf Scholz a real run for his money with the cruise missiles. He refuses to extradite me to Ukraine." And it just spells out the entire clip and stuff. And it's pretty much, the crux of it is weird in that, okay, like the talking weapons thing, it's kind of, I'll show an habitual line crosser clip afterwards just to show you it done right. But I don't know, this here is kind of cringe in the real sense because, again, my stance on everything is leave the fucking kids alone. Fuck off. It's like, come on. Fuck that noise. Okay, so habitual line crosser. Oop. I swear to God, I've seen his green screen videos like 5 times each. What's a good one? I'm trying to think what's a good one. Something with the buff. Everyone loves the buff. Storytime Gamba buff. This is my favorite.
All right, Grandpa Buff, I gotta know. Why do they keep you around and why are people afraid of you? I read that like 15 of you got shot down in one offensive in Vietnam. What's so special? Gather round, kids. I'm gonna teach you about Operation Senior Surprise. Senior Surprise. Probably what he finds in his pants every morning, am I right? I could take him in the bunker he's parked in, Buff. Just say the word. It's fine. He just doesn't know that I started Desert Storm. Wait, are you serious? Like what part? All of it. Now, as I was saying, Operation Senior Surprise. January 16th, 1991, 7 B-52s took off from Barksdale Air Force Base, headed to Iraq. That's like on the other side of the planet. Son, if you don't shut the fuck up and let him finish the story. We were each outfitted with these new cruise missiles. They had a 1,000-pound payload. Each of us had a couple of them. Well, it was kind of cursed to begin with, because as soon as we lifted off, one of the planes lost an engine. Luckily, I have 7 more. Alright, that's a flex. We did in-air refueling outside of Spain, and then again over the Mediterranean. Everything was off, we were running radio silent. Once we got off the coast of Iraq, well... You got intercepted. No, wait, they intercepted you. You intercepted them with bombs. You killed everybody. Will you and the 35 relax and let him finish? Damn 5th gen. In the span of 10 minutes, we released 35 cruise missiles, each with a 1,000-pound payload, eliminating Iraq's entire power grid, communication network, and a large portion of Saddam's forces. Fair enough, Buff has the knife missile beat. That was the first time that missiles were ever guided in with GPS. I got some of you young kids' toys. We made it all the way back to the U.S. completely undetected. 14,000 miles in 35 hours without touching the ground. And that, kids, is why you don't fuck with Grandpa Buff. Grandpa Buff, do you think I'll be able to intercept somebody? I hope so, 'cause you're weird.
Good old habitual line crosser. Copy link address. Paste into chat. Give habitual line crosser some love. He's good folk. Okay, back to the news. And that, kids, is how you do talking military equipment good and not cringe. And there we go. Male soldiers in Spain changing genders to receive better benefits and higher pay. Stop me if you heard this one before. or, as I'm fond of saying, who could have foreseen this coming? Just when you thought you hit peak transgender, you ain't seen nothing yet. That's because soldiers in Spain are starting to change their genders from male to female to earn benefits that are only available to females, according to a new report in the New York Post. It's almost like if you were to have equal benefits for both, we wouldn't be having this shit. See what happens when you get special treatment to some? The benefits include higher pay and better sleeping quarters, with gender switch had been made possible due to the military honoring the self-identification law, which was put in place in 2023 to help transgender people. The report points out that 41 men in Spain's North African autonomous city Ceuta now lists as female. After the law change, only 4 have changed their name, and the majority of them have kept, wait for it, their male genitals and even their beards, according to the report. Army Corporal Roberto Barry Dogones commented, on the outside, I feel like a heterosexual man, but on the inside, I am a lesbian. And his latter that counts. This is why I made a legal change to become a woman. Yeah, for changing my gender, I have been told my pension has gone up because women get more compensated for inequality. I also get 15% more salary for being a mother. Oh, God. I even have a private room in the barracks all to myself with a private bathroom. This is because I cannot be with men as I am a woman. I did not consider it appropriate to be with biological women. Out of respect for them, he added. I love this. It's like, this is clever. Very clever. Both reports of the transgender legislation enacted December 2022. 22, all twos. Permit individuals age 14 and above to alter their identity without requiring psychological or medical assessments, though those between 14 and 16 require consent from parents or guardians. Children age 12 and older can change their identity with judicial approval. Additionally, Spain's left-wing administration aims to increase female representation in the Guardia Civil and National Police to 40%. Conservative critics have labeled these measures as woke. No shit. Progressive actions. I have already seen several cases among my colleagues, and it's going to increase, one civil guard source concluded. What a shock. Quelles please. I can't read for shit. Okay. COVID-19 may lead to persistent cognitive impairment, brain fog, and lower IQ scores. Oh my god, it's everything. A new study found that COVID-19 infection can cause cognitive deficits. I talk English. Deficits that persist over a year and lower IQ scores in severe cases. That's severe, not several. The French, it is coming back. Those with the persistent symptoms that resolved had small cognitive deficits. I can't win today. Similar to those with a shorter illness duration. And going over all the numbers, but the long short of it is that, again, on top of everything else, COVID-19 seems to have effect on the entirety of you, almost as if the fucking thing was engineered from the ground up, much like its so-called vaccine, quote unquote. We just can't win. You just can't win. Oh, speaking of the Navy officers who got caught stealing and selling shit to the Chinese American who allegedly stole U.S. missile detection technology was part of CPP's 1,000-town plan. I don't think I've really talked about this too much before, but one of the Chinese military plans, well, just plans in general, is the 1,000 Towns plan. And what it is get get the educated Chinese to foreign businesses, academic institutions, just get them everywhere, situated everywhere, and then use them to nick off with information and stuff. That's pretty much all it is. Shen Guangdong, a Chinese American who has been accused of stealing U.S. infrared missile detection technology, was listed as one of 558 young talents on the 12,000 Talents plan run by the Chinese Communist Party in 2016. The list of talents was issued by the Task Force Office of Overseas High Level Talent Recruitment Programs under the Organization Department of the Central Committee of the CCP. A complaint in the U.S. Attorney's Office claimed that Mr. Gong transferred 3,600 files from his work laptop to 3 personal storage devices from March 2023 to April 2023. It also claimed that Mr. Gong possessed his personal storage device files marked as confidential that appeared to belong to several of Mr. Gong's former employers. These devices were taken from his temporary residence in Thousand Oaks, California, found in the FBI search on May 8, 2023. Ooh, $2.5 million bond. Woo. I'm surprised they even issued it. Goddamn. Talking about the Chinese plan, I just mentioned. Talking about the company he stole from. Okay, I like this. Suspicious resignation. As the top physical science and engineering research organization who regularly works with the U.S. government customers, HRL has a robust information security practice designed to detect, document suspicious activity. Ms. Reese told the Epoch Times, however, according to the complaint, HRL Laboratories only began monitoring Mr. Gong's network activity right after he sent his resignation April 14, 2023, claiming he was not doing a good job. Resignation was suspicious because Mr. Gong had been working for the HRL for less than 3 months and he had performed well. Blah, 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 blah. Ooh, this is not nice. Vice President of Vision Systems Lab, Rafael Ricardo, told FBI agents that Mr. Gong was given access to HRL's full data repository in light of Mr. Gong's managerial role. Fucking idiots. In other words, Mr. Gong was granted access to the full history, specifications, and roadmap of HRL's products. Looks like you got CAD files, technical blueprints, systems. Yep, a lot of stuff. Stuff from other companies. Yep, so again, as I said before in the previous article, this shit happens all the time, and really they really need to start putting more scrutiny on this shit. It's not like the Chinese are being sneaky about this; they're out in the open. Next. People who receive ivermectin better off study fines. Color me surprised. People who tested positive for COVID-19 took ivermectin as a treatment recovered faster than the comparison group, a new study found. The time to self-report recovery was a median of 2 days faster than among the ivermectin recipients, according to the large UK study. UK. Why? The quicker recovery period was statistically significant. Turk. English. People who receive ivermectin were also less likely to be hospitalized or die, with 1.6% of ivermectin recipients being hospitalized or dying versus 4% of the comparison group, which received typical care, which in the UK is largely focused on managing symptoms. Ivermectin recipients also enjoyed a reduction of severe symptoms and a sustained recovery, according to the study. The paper was published in the Journal of Infection on February 29th. The study covered an open-label trial involving 2,157 ivermectin recipients and 3,256 who received typical care from June 23rd, 2021 to July 1st, 2022. Participants were randomized and report symptoms and recovery. Researchers say findings don't support using ivermectin. Oh, you cunts. Of course. It's like, our data shows that this year is actually good, but if we actually say this year, we're going to get a call from Big Daddy government and lose our funding. What do we do? Cucks. But they're British, so it is to be expected. Doctors giving their opinion, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. It's like when the data doesn't agree with what they want to sell you, of course they want to change it. Many such cases. Yes, this. I didn't really cover it too much at the time, but this seems to be still going, so may as well mention it. Democrats fears that Biden describe Laken Riley's killer as illegal. Well, I covered the Laken Riley murder uh, as it comes up. I didn't mention at the time that, or maybe I did. I can't remember. But Biden in the State of the Union or whatever the fuck it was, he said that he referred to the killer as an illegal, and of course to the Democrats that's a big no. That's a no word. That is verboten. And of course, he's had to do an apology tour, like the dawdled old cuck that he is. After Joe Biden shocked many by actually telling the truth that Laken Riley was killed by an illegal, Nancy Pelosi expressed her anger, and the murder was described as undocumented. Get fucked, you old witch. Yes, really. A 22-year-old nursing student in Augusta University was kidnapped and killed by an illegal immigrant from Venezuela when she was jogging in the University of Georgia last month. Mayor Taylor Greene heckled Biden during the State of the Union speech and was actually successful in forcing Biden to tell the truth about the matter. Although, in true senile fashion, Biden called her Lincoln. He did say Riley was an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. And that's where shit hit the fan. Nancy Pelosi was visibly annoyed that Riley's killer was accurately described. And he should have said undocumented, but it's not a big thing, okay? She told CNN panel apparently it was a big thing to her, otherwise she wouldn't have said it. Do you think he should have said undocumented? Pelosi was asked. We usually say undocumented, she responded. Who is she even being offended on behalf of the actual murderer? Of course. He's a potential Democrat voter, don't you know? But these things will escalate from there. So-called progressives signaling their virtue. Congressman Shrey Garcia was the latest Democrat to express his outrage. As a proud immigrant, I'm extremely disappointed to hear President Biden use the word illegal, Garcia posted on X. Get fuck you, Beaner. But he said but he wasn't legal. The backlash was swift. From VizGuide24, you are disappointed that President Biden described murderer who was in the U.S. illegally as an illegal immigrant. Pray, Congressman, what would you like to him to be referred to as? And of course, everyone just kind of dogpiling on that there because it's like murdering son of a bitch. It's like fucking call him a cunt. Like the fucking murderous beaner they was. Okay, this I have to prepare myself. This one's fucking stupid. Okay. Gird my loins and have a swig of water. Oh, Lord, give me strength. Banning books is never the answer. RuPaul's No Censorship bookstore lasted just 3 days. It took just 3 days. After drag performer RuPaul announced the creation of No Censorship, I'm reading this article verbatim because it's fucking retarded. You have to bear witness to the retardation. After drag performer RuPaul announced the creation of No Censorship Alstora bookstore, censorship was back with a vengeance after many on the left learned that free speech meant that opposing views might be sold on the site. While the sentiment was appealing, it became intolerable when activists noted that no censorship store would mean that they could not censor others. Yeah, good use of the screen. In the rollout, RuPaul stood in a blue suit before a flag to defy the censors and embrace access to works of different authors and viewpoints. For many of us, it was an exciting moment. The anti-free speech movement on the left has grown exponentially. Now, this iconic figure from the left was taking a bold stand for free speech for 3 days. When, with 10 million titles, readers could buy most any book, including writers like Riley Gaines, who have challenged transgender theories. Various sites like National Review have covered the rise and rapid fall of the free speech initiative. The rollout was promising. Like many of us, the founders objected to book bans across the country. Such bans have been implemented by both left and the right. Allstar was founded on the pledge that we're making a marketplace. We're a marketplace for all books and all stories, with a focus on elevating marginalized voices. Co-founder Eric Cervini and drag performer Adam Powell welcome visitors to the website with a pop-up message and warned you may find books you disagree with. The site declares censorship of any book, perspective, or story is incompatible with the survival of democracy. After all, banning books is never the answer. This is what we like to call foreshadowing. The pledge was heralded in the media. Many viewed it as a jab at conservatives to show that there is nothing to fear in access to opposing views. Then someone thought about what free speech means. Liberal critics raised the alarm that the bookstore would be selling homophobic, transphobic, and anti-woke works. Drag performer. Why is there so many drag performers in this one? Jesus fuck. Lady Bunny noted that the store would be selling works by figures like Mike Huckabee, Shire Reichik, and Matt Walsh. Lady Bunny asked why not just stop selling what many on the left consider to be hate speech. This is all that it took. The store first implemented a flagging system for offensive books and then just got rid of the no censorship pledge. Oh God. You can't make this shit up. While some sites state that the store only moved to add disclaimers, it appeared that no censorship pledge is gone and various authors are missing. I searched for books for writers like Gaines and Matt Walsh and found nothing. The obvious response to Lady Bunny is that she is the answer to her question. In the name of combating hate speech, she embracing the very tool used by most hateful movements in history, from book burning to blacklisting of opposing views. Censorship becomes the insatiable as the list of offensive topics or views grows, from transgender politics to climate change to abortion. Every advocacy group finds opposing its own views to be dangerous and harmful. It's almost like this is a fucking cult. It's analogous to what Gandhi said about vengeance: an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. The same is true about censorship. Eventually, it leaves the whole world ignorant. Ah. Man. Such retardation. Okay. And less entertaining news. Millennials have to work twice as much as boomers did to pay off college, but there's a catch. Most Americans intuitively know that higher education has become disproportionately expensive for younger generations, thanks to millions of graduates trapped in student debt. And also, I've covered repeatedly in the past that this here, for what you're paying for, it is effectively worthless. So you're paying a lot for nothing. So you're getting it from both ends. Spit roasted by economic factors, if you will. But are education costs really so out of reach for younger generations? Yes, considering the career opportunities and wage inflation. Great News Research put the theory to test by comparing college tuition costs of baby boomers and millennials against what both generations earns after graduation. Our analysis revealed a stark difference between purchasing power. Who could have foreseen this one? Of a college degree in the 1980s and today, driven by the growth of disparity between tuition costs and wages. Wow. You need a study for this shit? And it's going over the common sense that anyone with two brain cells could figure it out. It's like, yes, of course. It's like the value of a dollar was worth a lot more then, and of course the market wasn't flooded with degrees, so the degrees themselves were also worth more. You have inflation on both ends. That's just how it works. But let's look at the numbers. Let's see. 4,725 tuition costs for boomers, 24,638 tuition costs for millennials. Federal minimum wage back in the day was $3.35 versus $7.25. Median post-graduation salary, $20,400 versus $51,000. Minimum wage hours to pay off tuition, 1,410 versus 3,398. I imagine that's a lot more for most people. And it's the median salary hours to pay off tuition, 481 versus 1,004. More numbers, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. So, you know this, I know this. Why was a study needed for this? Who fucking knows? Brain. Ah, yes. Rivian shells new Georgia factory in latest cost-cutting measures. 2 weeks after Rivian Automotive Incorporated announced a disappointing production forecast and another round of job cuts, Hearing a lot of those these days. The company CEO revealed the construction of a $5 billion factory in Georgia would be put on hold to reduce costs. Shocking. CEO RJ Scaridge unveiled the crossover EV called the R3. The new model would be priced lower than the R2 to increase affordability and boost sales. Oh god, yeah, I've heard of these guys before. Their car name of the R2 did ring a bell. Scary Joe surprised investor by announcing his new factory in Georgia, said East Atlanta would be shelved. Blah, blah, blah. And the only reason why I have this here article up here is just another example of throwing onto the pile of EVs. The EV bubble long since popped. And of course, since it's long since popped, anything that was in the pipeline, good on them for, shelving it, because if they were to go ahead with it, that would have been just straight up retarded. So, good on them for stopping it. But, I, I think the outlook for this company's life is not so good. Let's just be real. Yes. Okay, I covered this a while back, so I forget what end of the ping pong table we're at for now. So, New York Attorney General Lita James sued for overriding transgender sports ban. New York Attorney General Lita James has been sued by Nassau County executive who has accused her of unconstitutional discrimination for trying to override the country's decision to block biological males. God bless you. God bless you, Zero Hedge. I don't trust you if you have a perfectly spelled out article. I swear to God. Male gender athletes from competing in women's sports. Okay, so a few double negatives here. Okay. So so the last time we looked, she was trying to override the county's vote because the county actually voted on this here, and she was trying to overturn the will of the vote. Okay, there we go. Now we're straight. Unlike some of these people. Lawsuit was filed in the Nassau County's official Bruce Blakeman, who sat next. He filed a lawsuit to protect women's sports and ensure a safe environment for women. Based. Bullying women and girls will not be tolerated, he added, in response to James' cease and desist letter and threat to use legal action to force the county to allow trans athletes to compete. In a March 5th complaint filed in the Eastern District of New York, Blakeman seeks to block James from overriding his executive order imposing the ban at the country-run facilities. Blakeman argues that her cease and desist violates the constitutional rights of the girls and women while accusing her of unconstitutionally discriminating against individuals on the basis of gender. Cuts both ways, bitch. In regards to sporting events, the Epoch Times reports. And going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Oh. Okay, so that's where we stand right now. Yeah. So, okay, so the county is now suing. Oh my God, it's back and forth. I don't think I have a fanny article lined up because that's been a little quiet. Yeah. Okay, we've covered this before, but it bears repeating. Corporations are losing the ESG battle, forcing them to hide advocacy. Wall Street Titans appear to be having an increasingly hard time reconciling the conflicting goals of progressive activism shareholder returns. I've covered this repeatedly, but long and short of it is that due to being publicly trading companies, they are required by law to act in the best interest of the shareholders, and stuff like ESG is setting piles of money on fire, and that is not working in the benefit of the shareholders, which leaves them liable for, shall we say, a judicial oversight. And a lot of shareholders are banding together and actually pushing through the court system on this here shit. And not only of BlackRock running out of money, because like communism, it only works until you run out of other people's money. The fact that the money piles went poof, and the fact that on top of that they're subjected to the unlubed dildo of the law and stuff. So they're backtracking a lot of this ESG bridge nonsense and stuff, and they're trying to sweep it under the rug and call it different shit and stuff. But it's too little, too late. Because I remember covering back when BlackRock and a couple other companies pulled out of the climate action 100 plus. Covered that a while back. Power in the hands of the few, we know. Okay, this year's kind of rich. BlackRock said it's in the process of reviewing the letter from Attorney General, but disputes the allegations of conflicts of interest. Fuck off, you cunts. You know exactly what you were doing. It's like your little scheme was the literal definition of a conflict of interest. I hope you get reamed, you cunts. But again, BlackRock still has more money than God, so I doubt anything's really going to come from it, but I can hope. I can dream. I can wish upon a star. Very sure only 2 or 3 states have their minimum at the Fed level. Oh yeah, the minimum wage thing from that there. Yeah, but I think that was an average. Okay, okay, this one's a wild one, so strap yourselves in or down to your butts. Harvard's oddities collector gets probation after unlawfully trafficking human body parts. Wait until you get a look at this fucker. In the old days, Jeremy Pauli of Thompson, 42, would have been called a grave digger or body snatcher. However, the harvester of Harvard Medical why is it always Harvard? Medical School's cadavers preferred oddity collector. Thank you very much. Now, despite an extensive legal operation in traffic and body parts, Polly was spared in jail time by federal prosecutors in the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Middle District of Pennsylvania. Prepare yourselves. Yeah, yeah. He looks like a grave robber. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely a grave robber. What else he did to those corpses? Let's not dwell. Thompson will serve 2 years of probation after pleading guilty to last year to conspiracy and interstate transportation of stolen property. The prosecutors dropped charges for dealing in proceeds of unlawful activities and receiving stolen property. According to the Justice Department, Polly admitted to his role in a nationwide network of individuals who bought and sold human remains. His macabre business involving buying body parts from cadavers donated for medical research before their scheduled cremations. His inside source was Cedric Lodge, who managed the morgue for the anatomical gifts program at Harvard Medical School. Lodge allegedly ran a type of cadaver market in which he would allow customers to come into the morgue and pick out parts they wanted. Oh boy. Harvard insists it was entirely unaware of the operation and has condemned conduct of all those involved. Polly had other alleged sources like Caden Chapman Scott, an employee at Little Rock Mortuary. Scott even used Facebook Messenger to send pictures of her inventory, including brain and the heart. When police went to his house, Polly told officers that collected oddities and that he had 15 to 20 human skulls he had legally purchased in his possession. Later, police returned with a search warrant and found 3 5-gallon buckets filled with human remains. Sure must smell lovely. The FBI has since arrested 3 other individuals who allegedly trafficked stolen body parts, including Lodge's wife, Denise Lodge, Katrina McLean of Salem, Massachusetts, and Joshua Taylor of Pennsylvania. Denise Lodge pled guilty to the interstate transport of stolen human remains and faces 10 years in prison and a fine of $250,000. Yet the oddities collector will not go to jail under this plea. Likewise, Harvard will not be held accountable. Last month, Judge Kenneth W. Selinger dismissed the claims against Harvard and anatomical gift program manager Mark F. Cichetti and Tracy Fay, citing their immunity under Massachusetts Uniform Anatomical Gift Act. Only Massachusetts. In the opinion below, Selinger found that Harvard was protected under Massachusetts Uniform Anatomical Gift Act. That act includes good faith clause in the agreement for body donations that excuses even negligence. And I quote, a person who acts in accordance with this chapter or who attempts in good faith to do so shall not be liable for the acts in the civil action, criminal prosecution, or administrative proceeding. Stellinger held that it follows that a plaintiff cannot overcome the qualified immunity of someone who has received a lawful anatomical gift by showing that the recipient was negligent in handling the gift because a showing of negligence could not be demonstrated in the absence of good faith. Fuck me, this is retarded on so many levels. So Harvard walks and the oddities collector gets no jail time for his part. Massachusetts hardly appears aggressive in policing of this area. I wonder fucking why. It may not be expressly pro-robber digger jurisdiction, but it does not exactly come off as a vigilant monitor of medical schools. This may or may not be an actual film from Massachusetts UAGA inspection Young Frankenstein hand. I haven't watched Young Frankenstein in a while. Fuck, that's a good movie. Probably my top 3 Mel Brooks films. Okay, so this is a follow up on the Biden illegal snafu. Biden apologizes for saying illegal as Trump hosts Laken Riley's family at rally. President Joe Biden has apologized for accurately using the term illegal during Thursday night's State of the Union address. Okay, what's the State of the Union address? All right, wasn't too sure on that. During a tense exchange with Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene over the murder of Laken Riley, whose name Biden mispronounced as Lincoln, before uttering a verboten word that clearly upset the left. Look at that beady-eyed little devil. He knows he pooped his pants. During this State of the Union address, Greene taunted Biden to say Riley's name, adding she was killed by an illegal. Lincoln Riley. Biden responded, mispronouncing Lincoln's name. An innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. Biden continued, "This motherfucker will just parrot anything that's thrown at him, I swear to God." And we went over to histrionics, blah, blah, blah. So, but in response to that, Biden's policy of offering illegals for President Trump has called on Biden to apologize to Riley's family for mispronouncing the name, as opposed to apologizing the word he used to describe your killer. Trump also hosted Riley's family at a Saturday rally where he blamed Biden for her death, and rightfully so. He should be apologizing to the family as opposed to apologizing for the word he used, which is an accurate description, said Trump campaign senior advisor Chris Lasivita, calling Biden, oh, fuck off, snowmobiler. Calling Biden's response tone deaf and a pivotal moment that highlights the candidates' 2 very distinct differences in approach to the border invasion. There's a clear difference, said Lasivita. One sympathetic, coddling, and making excuses, and one wants to put a stop and put an end to it. Biden was roundly chastised on X, so I was there we went over before. Just raking him over the coals, so. And the optics going into 2024 elections is fucking wild. It's only March. University of Virginia spends $20 million on 235 DEI employees, with some making $587,340 per year. University of Virginia has at least 235 employees under its diversity, equity, and inclusion banner, including 82 students whose total cost of employment is estimated at $20 million. That's $50 million in cash compensation plus an additional 30% for the annual cost of their benefits. Tell me that you're running a racket without telling me you're running a racket. Goddamn. In contrast, last Friday, University of Florida dismissed its DEI bureaucracy. We covered that before, saving students and taxpayers $5 million per year. And the university terminated 13 full-time DEI positions and 15 administrative faculty appointments. Those funds have been reprogrammed into a faculty recruitment fund to attract better people who actually teach students. Heaven forbid, perish the thought. No such luck for learning that Virginia's flagship university, founded by Thomas Jefferson, no less, at UVA, has much deeper DEI infrastructure. Reform or abolition must await the summer's anticipated changes to the school's board of visitors. At least until then, the very highly compensated, generally non-teaching DEI staffers are safely embedded throughout the entire university while costing students and taxpayers a fortune. That's Virginia, so who gives a fuck? Our team of auditors at openthebooks.com reviewed the university payroll for 2023 to sort out DEI position head counts, compensation, and then estimated the cost of benefits, and they go over the number breakdowns, and yeah, $20 million. And the breakdown of where everyone's at. And I shit you not, these are actual things. Equity Center, Office for Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, Multicultural Student Services, Office of Diversity and Engagement, and Center for Diversity. Wow. The balls on these people. So, yeah. Virginia going to Virginia. Until they run out of other people's money. Many such cases. And how do you even say that? NXT golf bans transgenders from female competitions. In another round of sanity, prevailing for once, major professional women's golf tour NXT Girls are half tongue. Golf made it clear on Friday that individuals who are born as males will not be allowed to take part in the competitions even after gender transition, effectively banning the participation of controversial transgender golfer. Also, they're singling out one particular. Good. Let it be a message. Effective immediately, competitors must be a biological female at birth to participate, to take part in the next. Fuck it. The Women's Pro Tour, the golf said in a March 8th post. Excuse me. This decision underscores the organization's commitment to maintaining the integrity of women's professional golf and ensuring fair competition. Next, golf's decision to only allow biological females to participate in the tour comes after transgender golfer Haley Davison snatched a win in the next Women's Classic event earlier in January. There's the rub. The win raised possibility that Mr. Davison, who was born male and transitioned female in 2021, could end up becoming the first biologically male golfer to qualify for the latest Professional Golf Association LPGA Tour. Heaven forbid the thought. So I went to win and stuff, and then the band came. I'm kind of curious to see if they're going to raise a shit fit over this. Transgender advantage over women. We know this stuff. Yeah. No boo yet, but I imagine we're probably going to hear boo from the usual suspects in the not too distant future about this ruling. I have a feeling we're going to be coming back to this. Okay. I haven't really covered on this here. I've joked about it before, but U.S. reinforces Haiti embassy, evacuates some staff in an overnight airlift mission. America could be on the verge of losing another embassy on President Biden's watch. We're about to lose another embassy on Biden's watch. Haiti's in total crisis. They're now evacuating U.S. embassy. Is this all we do under Biden? Rinse and repeat. Haiti is quickly accelerating into the greater chaos and violence by the day. U.S. military is forced this weekend to fly in reinforcements to the U.S. embassy in the country's capital, Port-au-Prince, where the area outside the embassy has been transformed into a war zone. Yeah, all the prisoners breaking out of every high max security prison, and all the cartels and gangs getting back together. Yeah, that'll do it. Everything. Haiti's been on a decline ever since that earthquake. I swear to God. Earthquake and the UN treatment by the Hildebeest. Ever since then, Haiti hasn't been the same. I feel bad. Feels bad, man. So yeah, so not too long ago, the prison breakdown now is it's literally hell on earth in Haiti right now. I really feel bad. Well, yeah, embassy's probably going to fall in not too distant future. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, so Pipkin mentions. Yeah, so I did cover a little while ago that allegedly, I guess it kind of went tits up. I guess since we're not hearing about it, that Kenya was leading the UN peace forces to put back control into Haiti, but I guess that never really amounted to anything because one, LOL Kenya, two, LOL United Nations. The Kenyan police have a history of being death squads. I know, but but what you need right now is the death squads. Like, you need to go in there to shoot anyone who looks at you cross-eyed until things quiet down. I'm sorry, but that's the state that Haiti's in right now. The Kenyan death squads are needed right now. It's like it's like that is needed right now. Haiti needs the Tauntaun Makut. Yep. Okay, last thing I have lined up. Stop scrolling, you bastard. Come on. Go. I've covered this before. Shadowy network of how non-government organizations supplies mega corporations with migrants to exploit cheap labor. 1 week ago, we wrote about the note describing how illegals are obtaining jobs through federal government loophole enabled by the Biden administration as they await deportation proceedings. This caught the attention of Elon Musk, who said, "Wow, learn something new every day." Now we're revealing how corporate interests have become deeply interconnected with immigration through non-governmental organization called Tent Partners for Refugees. This NGO comprises more than 400 major national companies committed to hiring refugees. Several NGO partnerships with mega corporations include Red Roof Inn, Royal Farms, Shopify, CSX, Delta Airlines, DoorDash, Etsy, and even Bloomberg. We're about to send a Marine Expeditionary Force, dude. They're starting to bug out the embassy. I think they're just going to leave Haiti to its fate at this point. Let's see. So let's just go down the list of the. Okay, so pay attention. These are the companies that are looking to suppress your wages by hiring illegal immigrants. Okay, Concord, Cornerstone, Crescent, CHR again, CSX, CVS Health, Dalberg, Danby, Darnell, Dane Ross, Deloitte, Delta, Diageo, DoorDash, Dow, Ecobat, Edelman, EG America, Enbridge, Fueling Futures, so just Enbridge, Endeavor, EOS, Estate Laudia, Etsy, Red Roof, Rejuvenation, Remility. That one's way too. I wonder if it's better quality on this one. Not really, but it's better than it was. Where was I? Okay, so Republic, Magista, Riches. Fuck, that one's too blurry. Rockwell, Rosetta Stone, DSM, Royal Farms, Russell Metals, Saint Gobain, SAP, Schneer Electric, Shield Companies, Scotiabank, Seaboard Triumph, Seal Air, Simmons Betting, ServiceNow. Goddamn. ServiceNow, some hotels, Shopify, Silgan, Sistel Group. NGO relationships runs deeper than mega corporations. In fact, all the way at the Biden administration, December 2022, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken signed a memorandum of understanding with Tent Partnership to expand the economic opportunities for refugees in the private sector. Enemy of the state, fucker. Since the Biden administration opened floodgates, 10 million illegal immigrants have invaded the nation. The NGO serves as the extension of the mega corporations to exploit cheap labor. It's like Trump, Biden. Since the summer of 2018, there's been zero job creation for native-born workers. This is a problem in Canada. They'll list all these positions and not find anyone, air quotes, and then hire a bunch of cheap laborers. Many such cases. And that's how you devalue wages. So, yeah. Again, I covered this before, but, like you have all these companies, all these NGOs, the United Nations, the American government and stuff. Like, again, I said this before and I say it again. It's not a conspiracy theory. A conspiracy is just two guys trying to fuck over a third. And you and I are that third. Getting fucked over by this shit. Is it the same as America where newspaper listing counts as advertising position? Yep. Yeah. So, Canada's specific brand of retardation is our work visa program, and what companies will do is newspaper, online doesn't matter. They'll put the job posting, but not actually take any interviews for the local workers, and say they tried, air quote tried, to look for locals and stuff and not find anyone, and then go to daddy government and say like, okay, now we can bring in all the cheap Indians. And it's kind of funny, a little side tangent for Canadian demographics right now. This visa program is very abused by both India and Pakistan, so it's really kind of funny when you get both Indians, when you get Indians and Pakistanians coming in on the same programs and stuff, and sometimes they have to work together, and it's really amusing. I've seen it before. It's fucking hilarious. It's like Indians and Pakis. What could go wrong? Uh, a corpse takeout and add some dying paper and that counts. Yeah, they don't really care here. Like everyone knows what they're doing and stuff. It's fucking gross. But that's a system until you burn it down. That's just the way it's gonna be. It sucks. Yes, sir, it sucks. What am I setting at? An hour and 16 minutes. Well, I got no more news articles. I'm a little tired. Gonna have a snack and vegetate in front of YouTube. So, uh, oh, well, I'm thinking about it. So, see, since yesterday's group call was did gangbusters, it looks like I'm probably gonna do it again on like off days, like Monday and Thursdays I'll leave for news days, and just whenever I feel like it, I'll just open up voice calls and we can hang out and shoot the shit. I make no promises on I'm not going to commit to a frequency of like, okay, on this day we're going to have a group call kind of thing stuff. It's kind of like sporadic, yeah, whatever kind of thing stuff. So that's probably, it's loosey goosey and fun, and that's the way it should be. So, I'll give enough of a heads up for if anyone wants to hang out for the next one kind of thing. So, thanks for coming. Take it easy. Later.